This is the fourth class about the idioms. Today I will explain in detail each and every idiom. Regarding to idioms, 31st one, already we have completed 30 idioms in detail, and today's class from 31st to 40 idioms, 10 idioms I am going to explain to you. Please listen carefully and understand the meaning and the context when we have been used these idioms occasionally while speaking in English language and using of the idiomatic language. Idiomatic language gives, it is a decorative mode to the English language. It gives spice to the language. In each and every language, it has own idioms and phrases. It gives beauty to the language also. So the 31st one is today's class. First one is on cloud 9. On cloud 9. First of all, we should know the meaning of this idiom. Here the meaning has given, if you are on cloud 9 means you are very happy. This is a simple thing. I am on cloud 9 means I am very happy. I am very happy. Here the meaning is extremely cheerful. Extremely cheerful, very excited, extremely thrilled, extremely delighted, very excited. This is the meaning of the word on cloud 9. Extremely cheerful, not only happy, cheerful. Thrilled and delighted. Very excited. When do we use this idiom? For example, I was on cloud 9. I was on cloud 9. On cloud 9. If you are on cloud 9, you are very happy. Here the example, please try to observe the instance. Example sentence: I was on cloud 9 after receiving the news of my promotion. After receiving the news of my promotion. One more example. My grandfather was on cloud 9 to see me after a long time. I have not gone there in my native village. Once I went to my native village. It is a long period it has taken. On that situation, what is the position, what is the impression of my grandfather is, my grandfather was on cloud 9 to see me after a long time. One more example, I felt like I was on cloud 9 when she said she loves me a lot. I feel very excited, I feel very cheerful, I feel very thrilled, I feel very delighted. This is the meaning of on cloud 9. This is the idiom. Try to remember that. And 32nd one, number 32, under a cloud. This is another idiom, under a cloud. Under a cloud means if you are under a cloud, you are under suspicion or in trouble. Suspicion or in trouble. That is the meaning. Suspicion. Under suspicion. To be seen as being dishonest, untrusted. Trust means you have to faith. Misfortune and hard bad luck. Under a cloud means not a positive thing. Positive word, idiom. It is a negative idiom. Not to be trusted, untrusted, dishonest. To be seen being dishonest, suspicious movement, untrusted movement, under suspicion. Under a cloud means under suspicion, under in trouble. That is the meaning of the under a cloud. The IP for our key technology has been leaked, and many in my team, including the manager, are under a cloud. We are suspicious them. We have untrusted them, not trusted them. For example, a breaking news, a sudden death of his close friend. Two friends are there, very close friends, a bosom pals. Sudden death of his close friend has made him under the cloud. He did not believe that thing. He is suspicious on that time. He is doubtful. That is one more example. A sudden death of his close friend has made him under a cloud. That is, under a cloud means suspicion or in trouble or bad luck situation, misfortunate situation. And then go to the 33, head in the clouds. The third one is head in the clouds. Head in the clouds means if your head is in the clouds, you are not in touch with the ground realities. You are not aware of the real things which are going on. You are in the mood of daydreaming. You are in the mood of absent-minded. Under in the clouds, you don't know reality. You have to in the imagination, in the prediction mode. Less attention. You are in the mood of unrealistic situation, not realistic situation. Unrealistic situation. But be unaware of what is going on in our surrounding. You don't observe things. Head in the clouds means you are unaware, not aware, unaware, careless of what is going on. You don't observe in surrounding areas You don't observe anything. You are in the mood of in own way, thinking in an illogical and delusional manner. Illogical manner. You are thinking your own thoughts. You are ignore the society, the surroundings, the neighbors, the entire universe you are ignoring. You are in the mood of yourself only, unaware of what is going on. That is the meaning of the head in the clouds. For example, my academics have their heads in the clouds. Many academics have their heads in the clouds. Academics who are studied years, qualifications, many academics, they feel like that. They have their heads in the clouds. Most of the time, one more example, she is having her head in the clouds. Some of the persons, they are feeling, they feel they are great. They feel like that. They are superior. The remaining are inferior. They feel like that. That type of attitude is not good. It is a negative attitude. Head in the clouds. So this idiom, this type of thinking, attitude, method, thinking, this type of attitude is not good. For example, most of the time one girl is having her head in the clouds. She feels like that. That is one more example. Whenever feel head in the air, we should not accept this type of attitude. We ignore it, we leave it. In the 34th, small cog in a large wheel. Small cog in a large wheel. Small cog in a large wheel, it is the meaning of a big thing is there, in that a small thing is included, but is also needed or necessary someone or something that has a small role in a large setup. In a large setup or organization. That means a small cog, that means a small role, a small part, small character in a large organization, large setup, large company, large industry, large institute. That means cog means a subordinate but integral part, integral person or part. Cog means a subordinate but integral person or part. That means regarding this idiom, in this context, one who holds a minor but necessary post. He is a minor post, it is a minor post, but necessary post in a large organization. In a large organization. Small significance, small importance within a larger operation or larger organization, that is a small cog in a large wheel. And then the example sentence, I work as a sales representative in a Fortune 500 company, just a small cog in a large wheel. The company is a large organization, a large company. I am a small employee in that. I work as a sales representative in a Fortune 500 company, just a small cog in a large wheel. That is correct. Everyone in there are big large organizations are there. number of employees or workers are there. We are a small cog in a large wheel. I decided to set up my own business. One more example, because I was tired of just being a cog in a machine. A cog in a machine. This is a small role, small part, small character, small participation. That means insignificance and small importance, not insignificance, small significance. The 35th one is the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin, if you do anything, we think, we feel both sides. That means if you do any activity, we think merits and demerits also. Some activities we go to do, some merits are there. At the same time, in another kind of that side, demerits also are there. That type of expression is the other side of the coin. We are also thinking. The other side of the coin, for example, other side means the opposite aspect. We are not thinking one side. We are thinking about both merits and demerits, advantages and disadvantages. The opposite aspect, opposite aspect, and contrasting arguments. These are more important. The other side of also, we are thinking we do any work or any deed. For example, we only see the glamour and money in showbiz, but the other side of the coin is that only one is hundreds reach there. For example, one more example, I like having a white car. Please listen carefully. I like having a white car. But I am interested to buy white car and maintain that car. It is very fashionable. It is very fancy. But the other side of the coin is that it soon gets dirty. White car gets dirty soon. That is the demerit. The merit is, the advantage is, it is very comfortable, very luxurious, very fancy, very glamorous, buying a white car. But the other side of the demerit or disadvantage is that is soon gets dirty. Next, one more thing is the other side of the coin is that less working hours, we feel very working hours may be decreased. We take more rest at home. For example, one employee, less work, he is doing less work. Less working hours will get you, we will get you less income also. Other side of disadvantage is there. So the other side of the coin also, the other point of view, we are also thinking when we do any deed or work, any activity, that is more important. Please understand, all the students, in detailed explanation, without in detailed explanation, the idioms are not in our mind. That's why I repeatedly said, I repeatedly tell you about these explanations again and again. 36th idiom, pay someone back in his own coin. This is a tit for tat. Tit for tat. Tit for tat, to treat a person, for example, the meaning is there. If you pay someone back in his or own coin, you treat him in the same way as she treated you. I think that is the more important. That one is right. If you pay someone back in his own coin means, the meaning of that idiom is you treat him in the same way as he treated you. This is one type of revenge. It is not a good thing. This type of quality is not good thing. To treat a person in the way that he or she has treated others. This type of attitude is to seek to take revenge on someone by treating them in the same negative manner as they treated ours. This type of attitude, we take revenge on them. This is called tit for tat. And example is, by refusing to help her colleague, she paid him back in the same coin. By refusing to help her colleague, she paid him back in the same coin. If someone has treated you badly or unfairly and you pay them back in their own coin, you treat them in exactly the same way that they have treated you. That is the meaning of the pay someone back in his or her own coin. And 37th idiom is left out in the cold. Left out in the cold means to leave someone in a bad position. If you are left out in the cold, you are ignored. We don't concentrate on them, we leave them. We are not interested to take care of them. Carelessly we ignored them. Left out in the cold means you are ignored, we are ignored them. In that situation we have to use that. And that not give the rights or advantages to them that are given to others. To not allow someone to become part of or a group of or activity. We are not to invite them to involve, to participate in our group, in our activity. We should not invite them. We ignored, we forgot them. We excluded them, not included. We excluded from group. We ignored from group. We do not allow to become a part of our group, our activity. That is meaning of left out in the cold. I was left out in the cold in the annual promotions in the company. I was left out. They did not give promotion to me. I was left out. It is in the passive form. Left out in the cold. They ignored me. They put aside me. They don't allow me. They are not included me. They are excluded me. That is the left out in the cold, the meaning of that word. Next, one more example I will give you. Voters in this region have been left out completely in the cold. In some area, some people, it is far away from the main town city, the remote area. That region has been left out in the cold means we are not consider them. They are not included in the voters list. Voters in this region have been left out completely in the cold. That is one more example. And then pour cold water on. Pour cold water on means if you pour cold water on an idea or plan, you criticize that people lose enthusiasm to pursue it. We should discourage them, not encourage them. We should criticize them. discourage or deter them or criticize so much. If someone, our friend is going to start any business, we pour cold water on our ideas. That means criticize so much to lose their enthusiasm. They lost their interest in that field. To discourage someone from a goal or a mission. That is the meaning. It is not a good aspect or good attitude. If you pour cold water on an idea or plan, means you criticize that people lose enthusiasm to pursue it. That means you discourage someone from a goal or mission. You criticize so much to lose their enthusiasm. Then you should not participate in that activity very rapidly. You slow down. He is not interested to do that work. We should never pour cold water on that ideas, some other ideas for our friends or any relatives. It is not a good habit. For example, here one example is there. The investors poured cold water on the plan to build another factory. The investors are going to plan another factory. Another factory. They are ready to establish to start another factory. But some of the persons poured cold water on the plan. They are disappointed. You are very intelligent. For example, we take one more example. You are very intelligent and a very hardworking person, a hardworking boy, but your friend always discourage you. You are not able to get, you are not able to success in our field. Whatever the field is, that is another way. But your friend always used to pour cold water on you. On the time you will be disappointed and discouraged. You are not interested to do that. Your ambition, your mission, your goal is not successful in these type of words when you are listening. You never habituate that type of attitude. We never poured cold water on any plan, on any other. We don't discourage anyone. That is the meaning of the pour cold water on. And 39th one is blow hot and cold. If you blow hot and cold, you vacillate. Vacillate means to change mood frequently about something or someone. You are not taking decision perfectly. To be in two minds in dilapidated situation, that is ambiguous situation. To be of one opinion, then change your mind and think opposite. You are not stable mind. You are not able to take any decision perfectly. This type of blow hot and cold. For example, her boyfriend keep running hot and cold. Whenever she asks him to marry her, Her boyfriend, some of the persons, they are the girl has a boyfriend. Whenever she asking, the boy said, whenever she asks him to marry her, the boyfriend keep running hot and cold water, or blowing cold water. Run cold water, blowing cold water. Run cold water or blowing cold water. Why? Because here the editor blow hot and cold water the story for few days, and then finally decided to publish it. One issue has been taken place. It is going to the has gone to the notice of the editor. Editor did not take any decision, and he is in the mood of the hot and cold. He is in vacillation mode. Vacillation. That is the blow and hot, blow or run, blowing hot and cold, running hot and cold. The last one, the 40, number 40, 40th one, to come to a head. To come to a head, that means to reach a point in a situation where action needs to be taken. That is need. If something comes to a head, it reaches to the point of a crisis. It is the time to take decision particular problem. Otherwise, it may be more difficult to solve that problem. That is the meaning of the to come to a head. Come to a head means you are forced to deal with it quickly. You are forced to deal with quickly, because it suddenly become very bad. It is a very worse situation if you take any decision in the critical period. To come to a head means to come to a problem must be solved. It must be solved. To reach a point in a situation where action needs to be taken, you are forced to deal with it quickly, because it suddenly becomes very bad if it not resolved. If the problem is not solved, it becomes very bad. That means, for example, the situation came to a head when he passed derogatory comment purportedly toward me. Derogatory compliment purportedly towards me. Purportedly intentionally. Derogatory means accept. And he passed a derogatory comment purportedly toward me. That is the example of this one. Or this example, one more example I will give you. The investigation came to a head last week when my colleagues were found guilty of fraud. To come to head means to reach a point in a situation where action needs to take place. Compulsory, definitely we take a decision and action takes place. That is the meaning of this sentence, this idiom. Try to understand all of the students. This is the last one. Before going to complete this today's class, all the students are instructed. You should listen carefully, and after listening that, you note down on your notebook, and you frame number of examples, and you should use in day-to-day life while you speaking with your friends or your colleagues or relatives. Then only these idioms always in our mind, and for useful also our examinations, each and every competitive examinations. Thank you one and all. Goodbye.